This is not a normal video, although it will share the title of You Haven't Played This because it's a fighting game. Doing live commentary and compiling it isn't something I can do. So instead, I've prepared a semi-formal report on why... Oh god, that sounds so boring. I've created a short analysis on why Super Smash Brothers Brawl should still be played in 2016 and beyond. Because this game falls in the shadow of all the other games in the franchise, I wanted to do a piece on it, but I couldn't do a regular recording. So instead, there's going to be a short analysis. Because I can't do live commentary with a competitive game. I can barely do live commentary as it is. I'm terrible at YouTube. Have a good day. Enjoy the analysis.
3, 2, 1, go!
Super Smash Brothers, the Nintendo party/fighting game series that originated on the N64, has been met with mass appeal and improvements with every passing entry in the series. As of 2016, there have been 5 entries released in the series, each further advancing and enhancing the game mechanics, character roster, available levels, extra features, graphical capabilities, and collectibles. And while each installment from the N64 to Wii U has been true to this form, there's one entry that's not only been left in the dust for many, but it's now also the subject of ridicule when compared to the rest of the series. This entry is Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Released to most of the world in 2008, Super Smash Brothers Brawl would be the brand new next-gen Smash Bros. Game. And while it was met with massive critical acclaim, it found itself being returned to many home shelves in replacement of other games in the franchise. There are quite a few reasons for this. But before describing how and why Super Smash Bros. Brawl has been left in the dust of its predecessors and the newer installments, it's vital to understand what every other entry's done with the formula created in the original Super Smash Bros. 1999, Super Smash Bros. Is released, a huge deal for many N64 owners at the time, as this would be the first ever game to have different Nintendo characters battling in varying locations from each of their respective installments. This game came with a respectable 10 playable characters, 9 stages, and a handful of side game modes on top of the main attraction, the battles. This was the hook of the original and remains so with every entry to this day. The main battle mode and the main mechanic of the game had broken away from the traditional health system of most fighting games and instead used a percentage meter to gauge damage. As your percent increased from taking hits, so would the distance you were knocked back from a hit. The only way to lose was to fall off the stage. This was genius and was one of 2 main mechanics that allowed this game series to be both competitive and casual at the same time. The second of these mechanics was the control scheme. Instead of intricate combos using a wide assortment of buttons, Super Smash Bros. Only used 2 attack buttons, a shield button, and the control stick to attack. Each direction, that being up, down, left, and right, would allow a variation to different smash attacks, which allowed for very interesting and free-flowing play. This is what, alongside optional items spawning throughout the stage, allowed anyone to pick Smash up and play as a casual partygoer, as well as opening up a minor competitive level for those who were dedicated enough to attempt to do so. The original Super Smash Bros. For the N64 began a chain of very well-designed entries, each of which would top the content and quality of its predecessor. 2 years later, in 2001, Super Smash Bros. Melee is released on Nintendo's newest home console, the GameCube, with much better visuals, a large addition to the roster of characters, stages, extra side content, and collectibles, as well as massive improvements to the gameplay, which would help solidify Melee as one of, if not the fastest and smoothest Smash Bros. Games to date. With a roster of 25 characters, 29 stages, a ton of new and refined game modes, and a huge load of collectible trophies for the players to unlock, Super Smash Bros. Melee hugely refined and expanded the original game on the N64, and on top of making the game even smoother for casual play, it opened up a now massive competitive Melee industry through both intentional refinements and accidental techniques that have been discovered over the years that keep this game alive, thriving, and most of all, fast. After a very long 7-year gap, Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii was finally released after massive excitement from fans of Melee looking forward to the new, improved, more detailed Smash Brothers game. This game expanded further than Melee had, adding even more content than either of its predecessors could. However, as well as this game had been received, it would not last, as this game had slowed the mechanics down from Melee. And though it was still extremely fun to play, it would leave the game in the dust of both the past and future installments with faster and smoother mechanics. The newest entries as of 2016 have been Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. Both versions' combat are virtually the same, but are considered an improvement and downgrades simultaneously when compared to the speed of Melee. While the game is functionally smoother and more responsive, many of the competitive techniques used in Melee like wave dashing, dash dancing, shuffling, and more are not present in this entry, which both leaves the game better for the casual scene while simultaneously changing by improving and downgrading the competitive side of this game. Beyond the mechanics, Smash 4 added a ton of stuff across both versions, each holding some exclusive modes and stages. Over 50 characters, 30 stages, and the largest roster of trophies in any Smash Bros. Game thus far. It's been incredibly well received and is currently one of the most popular Smash Bros. Games being played. Knowing this, it gives some context as to the reason why Super Smash Brothers Brawl has been left behind in the dust. In Brawl, the fighting mechanics were modified from the high-speed action of Melee to a slightly slower fighting system that will reward the player more for planning ahead rather than running headfirst into the action. While this made play far easier for parties and casual play, this demolished the competitive scene that was so popular in Melee. Without many of the competitive techniques present in Melee, fans would work to create a fan project known as Project M to take the luxuries like higher graphical capability and improved hardware of Brawl and return it to a far faster, more similar system to Melee as an improvement to the game. Project M, though a fantastic fan project, is part of the reason Brawl itself isn't commonly praised for being one of the better Smash Bros. Games, as it's a very loud statement when a fan modification becomes more well received than the actual game. With the recent release of Smash 4 in late 2014, many people had moved away from Brawl to buy and play this brand new Smash Bros. Game. And while it improves on Brawl in a multitude of ways, it's also vital to recognize one key factor of this entry in the franchise that keeps Brawl out of many people's minds. Unlike Brawl, Smash 4 constantly is updating and has downloadable content that keeps this game changing with new characters, stages, and unlockable things like costumes for Mii fighters that keep Brawl on the sidelines of the series. And while Smash 4 improves and adds to the formula of Brawl and the entries before it, unlike Brawl, Smash 4 and Melee are both games that people still commonly play. With a multitude of reasons not to play the game, it begs the question, why still play Brawl now when there are other entries that still seem to be a mass improvement over this game? Brawl is definitely the most underappreciated of all the entries in the Smash Bros. Franchise. The original had started it all, Melee improved on the original massively, and opened up a massive competitive scene that is still hugely popular today. And Smash 4 added the most content of any game in the franchise thus far, and remains mechanically sound to this day. But Brawl, what did it do? Well, as a start, it slowed things down, which for as much as a negative for the competitive scene as this is, it's actually extremely beneficial to a more casual environment. More people have ease of access to this game in particular, and it makes it really easy and very fun to play the first entry in the series for newcomers to the franchise. Brawl also added a ton of stuff from Melee in the original, the most obvious being the inclusion of Story Mode, the Subspace Emissary, a massive and expansive story mode that's home to hours of content, cutscenes, and characters. Furthermore, the character roster was upgraded with some notably different characters like Solid Snake from Metal Gear and Sonic from Sonic the Hedgehog. The stage selection was upgraded with some returning locales from Melee, as well as many new stages, some of which being the largest the series would ever have, like New Pork City. There was way more music in this installment than any previous. While Smash 4 for Wii U and 3DS have a larger soundtrack than any other game in the franchise, Super Smash Brothers Brawl was the first to give you a selection of tracks per stage, which was a huge addition to the franchise based off of the 1 to approximately 3 songs per stage of the previous installments. This allowed you to select from a variety of songs per level and change the frequency of how often certain tracks would be played. Brawl also added a huge first for the series, a level creator. For the first time, you could create a level that was to your own imagination, within limits of course, but still to your own imagination. Whether it was a semi-flat competitive battle arena, a death trap, or a cycling level that moved in circles with springs and conveyor belts. On top of these things, Brawl massively expanded the number and types of collectibles from Melee, creating far more trophies, some of which could only be acquired through the Subspace Emissary, and a new collectible that could boost stats known as stickers, which were actually stickers of various Nintendo-related characters, items, and other various things. Furthermore, there were also unlockable music, stages, characters, characters, and a new addition, Masterpieces, which were small bite-sized demos of some famous Nintendo games from the past like Kid Icarus and Star Fox 64. Since there are so many collectibles, it allowed the developers to add challenges to unlock many of the 500 plus collectibles that the game had to offer. And there are a lot of challenges to do, which provides a new way to play the game and incentive to do so. Graphically, Brawl is generally the most realistic in art style thus far, and though the resolution of the Wii is only outputting 480p, the game, despite the texture quality being a potential hindrance, looks very clean and yet detailed at the same time. From the character models to level design, the game looks very visually appealing, and with the varying styles that come as a result of all the different game series incorporated into this one game, it's difficult to find a lack of an art style that isn't appealing. Although graphical fidelity shouldn't ever be a large factor in a game being good, which is a topic for another day entirely, it does have some impact on the experience, and Brawl, like nearly everything it does an incredible job with this. Overall, despite being one of the least well-recognized entries in the series today due to the slower gameplay, a lack of attention brought to it through the competitive scene, and a lack of changes and additions through downloadable content, Super Smash Brothers Brawl is a wonderful entry in the Smash Brothers franchise as a result of the massive content, the quality of content, and the ease of access for most players. So if you have a copy of Brawl sitting on a shelf, take it out and give it a quick play, either with a friend in the main modes, or by yourself doing various challenges, maybe the Subspace Emissary, or just fighting a CPU. You'll find that this game can be just as enjoyable as the other entries in the series, if not more so.